In the 1880s, Freemasonry is at its peak in the United Kingdom, the land where it began. The roster of Master Masons includes the Duke of Clarence, later to be crowned as King Edward VII, and many lesser men. But then, a scream pierces the London night. And then another. 5 women, 5 murders. In a letter to a London newspaper, the taunting killer conjures for himself a new identity: Jack the Ripper.
My name's Philip Hutchinson. I'm a Jack the Ripper historian and tour guide around the streets of the East End. At 1:44 a.m, the body of Catherine Eddowes was discovered by PC Edward Watkins in Mitre Square, about a 5-minute walk from where we're now standing in Goulston Street. There has been Masonic references placed upon the murder. Firstly, inverted V's were placed on Catherine Eddowes' cheek. Some people have claimed if you combine the 2 V's upturned, you get the letter M, denoting a Mason. Secondly, the murder took place in Mitre Square. Mitre and a square both being parts of Masonic iconography. And thirdly, part of Catherine Eddowes' apron was removed. Of course, the apron having obvious reference. To the side here is Wentworth Model Dwellings, built the year before the murders in 1887. And at 2:20 a.m, PC Alfred Long, who'd been drafted in from A Division in Westminster, had been patrolling this area of Goulston Street. He found nothing unusual, but he came back here at 2:55 a.m. And as he passed by this doorway, which led to rooms 108 to 119, just inside where this door jamb is, he found half a white apron covered in blood and feces. This had actually belonged to Catherine Eddowes, and the killer had cut it away from the body and used it to wipe his knife clean and wipe his hands as he ran away from the murder scene. But it's writing that was found on the wall directly above the apron, which links to the Masons. Although these bricks are now painted white, underneath the original bricks are black. And on the inside face of the door jamb, directly above the apron, someone had scrawled in white chalk the words, "The Jews are the men that will not be blamed for nothing if you believe PC Alfred Long," or "The Jews are not the men that will be blamed for nothing if you believe Detective Sergeant House from the City Police."
To some, the words are an echo of one of Freemasonry's most secret and important ceremonies, the infamous Third Degree, reenacting the murder of biblical stonemason Hiram Abiff by 3 jealous workers known as Jubilah, Jubilo, and Jubilam. Could these have been the Ripper's Jews?
Grand Master Hiram Abiff, I heard you cavilling with Jubilah and Jubilo. From them you have escaped, but from me never. My name is Jubilam.
Almost immediately, the cryptic words are erased by a senior police official. Is it a cleanup or a cover-up? The real Jack the Ripper is never arrested or identified. No one accuses the Masons until nearly 100 years later, when British author Stephen Knight writes a BBC documentary, then releases a book called The Final Solution, claiming to prove that the serial killer was in fact a Freemason named Sir William Gull, a surgeon to the royal family. Gull was to kill the Catholic shopgirl who had secretly married the future king and given birth to his child.
Obviously, there would have been a scandal had it actually got leaked that the heir to the throne, as the Duke of Clarence was, had got married and had a baby with a Catholic shopgirl. Clearly, the person who killed the Ripper victims showed a degree of skill with a knife. People then jumped onto the idea that the Ripper would have been Sir William Gull.
At 71, and already the victim of a crippling stroke, Dr. Gull may be too frail to carry out the savagery himself. But his role in a palace cover-up of a real royal killer tantalizes writers and filmmakers.
Since the Stephen Knight book, that even Ripperologists themselves, apart from the lunatic fringe in the Ripperologists, accept that it is a conspiracy theory, that there is no historical fact in it.
Freemasonry is something that is so covered in myth and ritual and mystery and lack of knowledge by the common man, and so people think if they can link Freemasonry to it, that's going to explain things because they don't know about Freemasonry. Therefore, because they don't know about Jack the Ripper, everything fits together and they can put it down to that without having to delve further into the human psyche.
The Ripper case remains a mystery,